Hello and welcome back to episode 17 of the Welsh Premiership podcast. Today we're joined by Ponty club captain and a Premiership stalwart in Daf Lockyer. David, how are you?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
You played at Ponty for 15 years altogether now. How much does the club mean to you?
Yeah, it's been a massive part of my life. It's been everything really since probably when I went down there to join the academy at 15. It was just that was the only club I ever wanted to play for, and yeah, it's been brilliant. It's like I said, it's a massive part of my life, and for my family, really, they've got involved in it. My mother and father are big Ponty supporters, and I know the kids love Ponty, so yeah, it's been massive, and it has been a big part of my life. And I know you say like about putting things first. Probably, being honest here, probably I've put Ponty in front of my family a lot of times, which sometimes I've had to like to be as successful as I have and to be captain. You've got to try and make those sacrifices, and that stuff I've definitely done over the years. But it's all been worth it, and I've loved my time down
here. Yeah, as a team, you finished in 5th place last season. What do you make of the season?
Yeah, disappointing really, but we're just not consistent enough. It's like people say, yeah, Ponty play good rugby and they show some cracking tries. We just made so many errors last year, and just games we should be winning. We were losing, and we just wasn't good enough last year, and we just couldn't get away with it. The teams, anyone could beat anyone on a day, and we do well against the top teams, and we lost a lot of games to the teams lower than us, and we just wasn't good enough last year.
And obviously, no one knows when next season will start now, but what are your ambitions for next season? As you said, you were a bit inconsistent last year, but obviously you have got a lot of talent in the squad. So what are your aims and ambitions for next season?
Same as every season. We start the season and we're looking for silver, we're looking to win the league. That's how better and all it has been from the start when I've been a Ponty. And then always end up go on and win a cup. But yeah, we got a lot of youngsters here, and they're all good enough. But we got a couple of old lads as well, who steer the ship for us. But we definitely got to be looking for silver. Where on a day we can beat anyone. And towards the end of last season, we started to hit a bit of form, beat them in our last game, and we thought we would have a nice run in, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, there's a couple of youngsters coming through now, and hopefully they matured now in the last season. And they've gone away, worked really hard, got fit, and a lot of them got a bit bigger, and then just takes us forward and we can challenge for something.
You won 4 league titles on a bounce with Ponty, and you also captained them to the latest one. How special were these few years for you, and which was a standout one?
Yeah, it's mad really, because you don't realise how good it is till it's gone. So like you just take it for granted, and I think we did. We were so successful for those four years, and getting to every cup final, every league final, and just probably took it a bit for granted. Really, you didn't really take it all in, and it was amazing. It was an amazing time. The squad we had was unbelievable. We had like probably 35 players who could be picked in the 15 every week, and it was brilliant. Like, but probably the best one was probably the first one we won, the first league title we ever won. That was probably the best because we hadn't done it, and it'd been a few years, and yeah, it was just amazing moment. We lost a couple as well, which we should have won, but we done well for those 4 or 5 years. We were really successful, and looking back there now, it's just great times.
Yeah, you also had a 2-year spell with Neath between 2007 and 2009. What was that like?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Neath. Just really unlucky. Picked up a groin injury in the first pre-season, and ended up having about 2 or 3 operations on it to try and fix it, and just couldn't stay fit down there. Just wasn't meant to be. But loved my time down there, and a lot of people said, "Oh, you went down there for money," but Nice at the time, without many people went full time. A lot of the boys went full time, so I got tucked down here, full time rugby player, and it was great. Like just couldn't stay fit, and I come back after my groin injuries, and I think I dislocated my thumb. I was out, but when I played, it was brilliant. Like another team, cracking team. We won a double first year, and really enjoyed the fans at Ponty. We were having good crowds, great club. It was a great team. Just wasn't meant to be for me. It just couldn't stay fit, and that was a downfall in the end. And that's when I ended up going back to Ponty.
You also represented the Barbarians. What did that mean for you to represent such a historic club, and what was the culture like there in the week?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was bit of a shock when I had the call, but I was just something I really took in the moment because I knew it'd be a one-off, and just made sure I enjoyed every bit of it. And when you go away and you meet some of the boys I hadn't met before, and it was just brilliant. Like you said, it's a big thing with the culture with the Barbadians, having a few pints, and that was just right up my street. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I was lucky I got to play with a couple of boys I know, like Johnny Eds and Gazzy Davis and stuff like that. So yeah, we actually won. We beat the Army on the wreck, and had a few pints late afterwards, and had a really good night. And my family came up again, and yeah, it was just a lovely day, and something I can always look back on and be proud of.
And obviously, you played in the Prem for a long time. And who are some of the best players you played with and against in the league?
So many. Probably when I first come on the scene, probably had like Jonathan Davis was just breaking onto the scene. He was a right handful when he first came on the scene. Scott Williams, David Dewitt was a cracking player to play against. Probably. I don't think no. Jimmy Roberts was probably the toughest 12 I played against. A couple of years ago, he was just a right handful all game. Just don't stop running. It's no breather. And then you got your boys more recently. You got Johnny Lewis. I think he was at an interview because he scored like. Me and Johnny always gone well, cracking respect, but cracking player. Like he's again a right handful to play against, and he's done really well for Connecticut. And then you got Aaron Pinchers, cracking player as well, playing really well for Merthyr at the moment. So those players, cracking boys like them, just cracking players really. It's just tough boys I played with. Yeah, played with some crack. It's probably there's only one who will ever be my favourite probably player to play with, and I was probably Gavin Dacey. One of my best mates off the pitch, and I think we played over 200 games together for Ponty, and yeah, it was that was through the successful era as well when we had those 4 or 5 years. Just played really well together. Just come off each other, and he read my game well, and I could read his game, and just done really well together. And yeah, he's probably the favourite centre I've ever played with.
Yeah, obviously with Ponty, you've done well in the league and you've played in the British and Irish Cup. So what's the best away trip you've been on with Ponty?
Best away trip? There's some crap. Nights out or actual games. But yeah, we had probably one of the best ones we had. We beat Doncaster away. That was early on in the British Cup. I think it was the first year we ever won in there. And like most of the Welsh clubs, we weren't. No one would think we was going to compete or anything. And we actually went up to Doncaster and turned them over on their own ground. And they had a really good team at the time. Lynn Howell was coaching them, and they were a big team, and we managed to go up there and turn them over. And again, had a cracking night out up there. Probably the standout one is when we went up to Cornish Pirates, quarter-final of the British Cup. Again, no one gave us a chance to win in. Stinking day up there, weather was terrible, pitch was terrible. Massive crowd. Ponty took a massive following up with us, and again, we managed to turn them over, and they're the big standout ones. Leinster, we lost in semi-finals. Semi-finals of the Cup, we actually drew the game. I went on. I tried. That was a full house in Sardis. That was a massive one. Brilliant day for everyone and boys that got to lose. But again, some of the players they had, Leinster had went on, and everyone Irish caps. And how many was in the team? There's probably about 5 or 6 of them, and so we done really well that day. But most of the trips with Ponty we really enjoyed, and it's something we miss now. Going away with the fans and making the most of it. But yeah, the British Cup has some cracking memories. We had some big scouts. We turned some big teams over in that.
Obviously, you've already spoke about your league titles, but is there anything else, any other games in the Premiership that stick out for you?
I think games. I'm not really one for looking back over games like that, but it's just the league titles really. Beating Classley home in one of the league titles was a big one. I just remember they put out the team with Liam Williams and it was just so many Scarlets boys put in there. I think Jake Ball was in there. It was just full of Scarlets, and again we thought, oh, here we go. Is another one we're going to lose? And I think we got 40 points on that. Just everything clicked for us that day. So that was a massive one. But most of them, I don't really look back on a lot of games. It's just to look forward, really. Obviously, the finals and the cup finals are standouts, but I should look forward rather than back.
Yeah. The derby games against Cardiff and Merthyr, they probably always stand out, don't they?
Yeah, Christmas time when we used to play Cardiff years ago, we used to always be on a Boxing Day, which was good, big crowds, tight games like Cardiff Ponty. Always it was never much in it. It's changed these days now. It's changed. We play them all sorts of times, but it's still massive games, big crowds. And Merthyr like the big team on the scene now, and they've got all the big players and all the money, and the rivalries seem to have gone that way now, more on Cardiff up with Merthyr. So yeah, we have some big games, and we've got a lot of friends up in Merthyr. A lot of boys who played for Ponty have gone up to Merthyr now, and so that always makes it a bit more interesting. So yeah, massive game. But to be fair, most games in the Premiership now are big. You've got no teams you can walk over. They're all big clubs, and you've got to fight for everything in the Premiership.
Dave, you played obviously in Ponty now. You have a lot of regional youngsters playing for you. How much does the Prem help develop these players?
Yeah, it's massive. I think the Prem is a bit of a scapegoat, really, sometimes over the years for if the international team's not doing well or the regionals are not doing well or producing the players. I think they always look back. The Premiership's not doing it, but if you look back of when Wales was successful winning some Six Nations, some of the boys who come through the Premiership, like Alan Wynne has always been classed as one of the best ever Welsh players. Like he was with Swansea, and he wasn't here long, but he still come through those routes and played for Swansea. Jamie Roberts, Scott Williams, Jonathan Davis, Morgan Sturrard, all come through regional from the local clubs through Ponty, Cardiff, Connectley. So it's massive. Like so, I just think you need to give the Premiership a bit more funding. And I don't mean paying players. I just mean facilities and maybe boys being able to have an extra day off work to train in a night, or going from training twice a week to 3 times a week. Just little stuff like that. It just needs more funding for facilities and training just for people, and that's what the youngsters are. And then more players will come from the clubs and be better players. But at the moment, I just don't think, and they're not giving a lot to Premiership, but they're expecting a lot out of it, and it's just not giving in. So I just think the Premiership's been a bit of a scapegoat really over the years. But the players that you take a look after themselves, Cardiff Blues at the moment, they're like Dylan Lewis, Liam Belcher, you got Christian Dacey, Jared Evans, Tom Williams, Alan Summerhill, all played for Ponty 3-4 years ago. So how they say it's not working, I don't know.
Do you think the regional youngsters are better off playing in like a regional A team, or do you reckon playing in the Premiership is better for their development?
Oh, definitely the Premiership. I think when they changed it from the clubs to the regional, you could just look at the results. Some of the results were coming in, like the regional A teams were getting back, and probably not fair on some of them. They're going up to some of these top teams, and these teams in Championship are full time, and the big teams, big men playing for them. And I just think you need to be, you've got a bit of a balance. I think you've got a bit of a balance with like older players and boys who've been about. So definitely it was better with the clubs. Definitely you could see by the results and everything. And I think the boys would say the same. If you spoke to a lot of the boys who've been playing regional A and who playing for the clubs in the BNI, I think a lot of them would say the clubs. So I don't think it worked. They went regional route, and I just don't think that's worked at all with the regional A teams.
And as someone that plays in the Welsh Premiership, obviously you mentioned it does get a lot of stick, but what do you feel the standards like, and how do you feel the standards changed in the last 10 years? So,
it has changed. The games are definitely a lot quicker in the Premiership now than they were. I don't think they're as physical as they were. But a lot of that has to probably do with the pitches we got now. A lot of the pitches have been changed to 4G, so the games are so fast. You haven't got your cross keys any bedrest in the league anymore, which like mad baths. But at the end of the day, like if you want to win titles and stuff, that's where you have to go and you have to dig it out and work hard. And that's where a lot of players you could see where you're not really if you go across in and do your job. That's where a lot of players come from. But I just think it's not as physical as it was, but it's definitely the pace is definitely rising. It hasn't got worse.
And you represented Wales at age grade levels, and you played with the likes of Alan Wynne. What was this experience like?
Yeah, good. You could know from a young age that Alan Wynne was going to do well in rugby and make it, and he has, like, I didn't think he'd going to play 140 odd games for Wales, but to be fair to the bloke, he's a machine. Like, to keep going, playing international level at his age now, and the way he plays, done so well. Like, but yeah, it was good. Like, a lot of the boys played with, like, Jamie Roberts, and all the boys who gone on, like we said, Alan Wynne. So many of them went on, and Chris Checker, he went on and done well for Wales. So yeah, it was really good. And I got my caps all up on my wall. My son puts it in his bedroom, and just nice things to look back on now and again.
Yeah, you played 2 Junior World Cups out in Argentina and France. What was that experience like?
Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed it. I wasn't full time playing then. I was just working and playing for Ponty. So it was nice to be in that environment for 3 weeks, training every day, just eating tidy and being with the boys every day and playing. So, but I was really lucky to go on those 2 trips, because the Six Nations squads I wasn't actually picked for. I think it was like your Davowitz, your Tom Riley's, and people that were picked. But then when it came to the World Cup, they had been staying home to go to the first team with the Blues and whatever regionals they were. So it was a bit of luck, really, that they got pulled out of the squad, and it gave me my chance to go away.
And when you were coming through as well, you had a spell in the Celtic Warriors Academy. How was that for you, and were you disappointed with the way things happened with the Celtic Warriors?
Yeah, it was a real shame. We had a cracking team. I think we went unbeaten all year, and it was looking good for the region at the time. And the boys were signing new contracts to stay another year and 2, and it was all looking good. And then it just went Pete Tong so quick. And like I said, a lot of boys who was in the academy with me went straight to work again, and a lot of them I don't think I'd seen again playing rugby, or they might have gone and played for local clubs, but never at a higher level, which is sad, really. But yeah, we finished off that year because it was a big tour. Justin Manel had booked the big tour to South Africa, so we went on tour to South Africa for 2 weeks. So it was a nice bit of closure with a tour out there, but definitely sad times to see some boys finish for there and never really come back playing an high level again.
Obviously, due to COVID now, you haven't played a game in quite a long time. What's that break been like for your mental health?
Yeah, it's been it has been good, to be fair. I'm really busy when the rugby's back playing. My day is I get up early, go to the gym. I'm in the gym by like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going straight to work, full day's work, coming home. And then I've either got my kids in after work, or I'm going back out working or back out training. So I don't get a minute to myself, really. But since this has come in with the rugby, it's been nice to come home, just chill out a bit, and it's been really good. The body, everyone keeps saying to me, "Oh, your body should feel a lot better now because you've had a break." But to be honest, I feel a bit worse. I just think your body gets used to playing and training. And I think when you stop, it's that when you're a bit older, you start to seize up a bit. So I think I feel a bit worse after the break, my body, but I'm sure I can get back into it quick enough. But for my mental health, it's definitely been a good thing. Just to chill out a bit and just not be 100% all the time. Just give me more time to spend with the kids, and so it's been a good thing, really.
Obviously, Ponty's a club which is really in touch with the community as well. And what's it meant for the community in Ponty to not have the rugby club to go to on your Saturday and go and watch the club? It's quite sad, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people are struggling, like you say, with mental health. And I should imagine on a Saturday that's a bit of their getaway to get out to the house and get a bit of fresh air and come down and enjoy the rugby. It's just that couple of hours out to the house is probably massive to a lot of people. And yeah, it is sad, and I just hope everyone's all right. Especially the older people, who a lot of them were stuck indoors, because a lot of Ponty supporters are a lot older. I just hope they're all doing well and staying safe. But I just think as soon as we get back now to rugby, the better. It's just be good for everyone, really, and probably everyone in Wales, really, youngsters, older people, just getting back to normal now is a massive thing. Like,
We got a teammates quiz for you, right?
yeah,
So,
Bob.
worst dressed teammate you've seen?
Alex Webber
What sort of
You know,
stuff
not
did
thinking about that one.
thinks he's chocolate mine, but his dress sense is absolutely awful.
what sort of stuff does he come out with?
Oh, he's got these tight leggings he likes to wear, like skin, with like flip flops, and then he'd wear the tightest top ever, probably like an extra small, probably fits a 14-year-old, but he thinks he looks good in it anyway.
Who's the best drinker you've seen?
Oh, I'm the best drinker. No, best drinker I've seen has got to be Dale McIntosh. Absolutely machine on a thing, and Justin Belling far behind him.
I think a Chief's been brought up a few times already.
It's ridiculous. When we used to be after the game, we wouldn't want to go nowhere near him with the bar, because once you're in a round, once you've either bought him a pint or he buys you a pint, you're in a round for the night then. It's not funny, so you try to stay well away from him when he goes to the bar, so you don't get stuck with him for the night.
And who's the best changing room DJ you've had at Ponty?
Best changing room DJ. Craig Locke probably. Tabs went bad on a thing, but a mixer. Used to mix it up quite a bit, so his phone used to go on a lot. And again, Webber's phone's on it quite a lot at the moment, but he's into all that like R&B, and it's not my scene, so all that nonsense. So I like a bit of dance and something a bit quicker than that. So yeah, probably Craig Locke was the best DJ we've had.
And without revealing too much, who's the biggest liability on a night out?
Biggest liability. I think now. Darren Waters probably is the biggest liability I've ever been with in my life. But absolutely clean off it. But at the moment in a Ponty squad, I would probably say Johan Evans, probably one of the youngsters. He's a bit wild on a night out.
And if you stuck on a desert island, who's the teammate you'd most want to be with and the one you'd least like to be with?
Least would be Richellard, because that's all we do is argue. We just constantly argue all the time. And who do I want to be with? What, current squad member or
any of the players you played with?
The players. I'd probably have to say Craig Locke, probably. Tubbs, he's one of my best mates, so we got on it right, but just keep me away from Sherlad.
All right, that's a wrap for this episode. Cheers for coming on. Remember to go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Welsh Prem Pod, and watch the rest of the videos and like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and goodbye.